Act 1. Scene 1, London, the Parliament House. Alarum, enter Duke of York, Edward, Richard, Norfolk, Montague, Warwick and soldiers, all wearing the white rose. Warwick. I wonder how the king escaped our hands. York. While we pursued the horsemen of the north, he slyly stole away and left his men. Whereat the great lord of Northumberland, whose warlike ears could never brook retreat, cheered up the drooping army, and himself, Lord Clifford and Lord Stafford all abreast, charged our main battle's front, and breaking in, were by the swords of common soldiers slain. Edward, Lord Stafford's father, Duke of Buckingham, is either slain or wounded dangerous. I cleft his beaver with a downright blow. That this is true, father, behold his blood, showing his bloody sword. Chapter 1000, Antague. And brother, here, the Earl of Wiltshire's blood, to York showing his, whom I encountered as the battles joined. Richard, speak thou for me and tell them what I did, throwing down the Duke of Somerset's head. York. Richard hath best deserved of all my sons. But is your grace dead, my Lord of Somerset? Norfolk. Such hope have all the line of John of Gaunt. Richard. Thus do I hope to shake King Henry's head. Warwick. And so do I, victorious Prince of York, before I see thee seated in that throne, which now the house of Lancaster usurps. I vow by heaven these eyes shall never close. This is the palace of the fearful king, and this the regal seat, possess it, York. For this is thine, and not King Henry's heirs. York. Assist me then, sweet Warwick, and I will, for hither we have broken in by force. Norfolk. We 100 all assist you, he that flies shall die. York. Thanks, gentle Norfolk, stay by me, my lords. And soldiers, stay and lodge by me this night. Warwick. And when the king comes, offer him no violence, unless he seek to thrust you out perforce. York. The Queen this day here holds her parliament, but little thinks we shall be of her counsel. By words or blows here let us win our right. Richard. Armed as we are, let's stay within this house. Warwick. The bloody parliament shall this be called, unless Plantagenet, Duke of York, be king, and bashful Henry deposed, whose cowardice hath made us bywords to our enemies. York. Then leave me not, my lords, be resolute. I mean to take possession of my right. Warwick. Neither the king nor he that loves him best, the proudest he that holds up Lancaster, dares stir a wing if Warwick shake his bells. Chapter 1, 100 Plant Plantagenet, root him up who dares. Resolve thee, Richard, claim the English crown. Warwick leads York to the throne, who seats himself. Flourish, enter King Henry, Clifford, Northumberland, Westmoreland, Exeter and the rest, all wearing the red rose. King Henry. My lords, look where the sturdy rebel sits, even in the chair of state, belike he means, backed by the power of Warwick, that false peer, to aspire unto the crown and reign as king. Earl of Northumberland, he slew thy father, and thine, Lord Clifford, and you both have vowed revenge on him, his sons, his favourites, and his friends. Northumberland. If I be not, heavens be revenged on me. Chapter 151, F. Ford. The hope thereof makes Clifford mourn in steel. WSTMORELAND. What shall we suffer this? Let's pluck him down. My heart for anger burns, I cannot brook it. King Henry. Be patient, gentle Earl of Westmoreland. Chapter 151, F. Forward. Patience is for poltroons such as he. He durst not sit there had your father lived. My gracious lord, here in the Parliament, let us assail the family of York. Northumberland. Well hast thou spoken, cousin, be it so. King Henry. Ah, know you not the city favours them, and they have troops of soldiers at their beck. Exeter. But when the Duke is slain, they 100 quickly fly. King Henry. Far be the thought of this from Henry's heart, to make a shambles of the Parliament House. Cousin of Exeter, frowns, words and threats, shall be the war that Henry means to use. They advance to the Duke. Thou factious Duke of York, descend my throne, and kneel for grace and mercy at my feet. I am thy sovereign. York. I am thine. Exeter. For shame come down, he made thee Duke of York. York. 'Twas my inheritance as the earldom was. Exeter. Thy father was a traitor to the crown. Warwick. Exeter, thou art a traitor to the crown, in following this usurping Henry. Chapter 151, F. Forward. Whom should he follow but his natural king? Warwick. True, Clifford, that's Richard, Duke of York. King Henry. And shall I stand, and thou sit in my throne? York. It must and shall be so, content thyself. Warwick. Be Duke of Lancaster, let him be king. Wstmorland. He is both king and Duke of Lancaster, and that the Lord of Westmoreland shall maintain. Warwick. And Warwick shall disprove it, you forget that we are those which chased you from the field, and slew your fathers, and with colours spread, marched through the city to the palace gates. Northumberland. Yes, Warwick, I remember it to my grief, and by his soul, thou and thy house shall rue it. Wstmorland. Plantagenet, of thee and these thy sons, thy kinsmen and thy friends, I 100 have more lives than drops of blood were in my father's veins. Chapter 151, F. Forward. Urge it no more, lest that instead of words, I send thee, Warwick, such a messenger as shall revenge his death before I stir. Warwick. Poor Clifford, how I scorn his worthless threats. York. Will you we show our title to the crown? If not, our swords shall plead it in the field. King Henry. What title hast thou, traitor to the crown? Thy father was, as thou art, Duke of York. Thy grandfather, Roger Mortimer, Earl of March. I am the son of Henry V, who made the Dauphin and the French to stoop, and seized upon their towns and provinces. Warwick. Talk not of France, sith thou hast lost it all. King Henry. The Lord Protector lost it, and not I. When I was crowned I was but 9 months old. Richard. You are old enough now, and yet methinks you lose. Father, tear the crown from the usurper's head. Edward. Sweet father, do so, set it on your head. Chapter 1000, Antague. Good brother, as thou lovest and honourest arms, let's fight it out and not stand cavilling thus. Richard. Sound drums and trumpets, and the king will fly. York. Sons, peace. King Henry. Peace thou, and give King Henry leave to speak. Warwick. Plantagenet shall speak first, hear him, lords. And be you silent and attentive too. for he that interrupts him shall not live. King Henry, think'st thou that I will leave my kingly throne, wherein my grandsire and my father sat? No, first shall war unpeople this my realm, I and their colours often born in France, and now in England to our heart's great sorrow, shall be my winding sheet. Why faint you, lords? My title's good and better far than his. Warwick, prove it, Henry, and thou shalt be king. King Henry, Henry the Fourth by conquest got the crown. York, 'twas by rebellion against his king. King Henry, I know not what to say, my title's weak. Tell me, may not a king adopt an heir? York, what then? King Henry, and if he may, then am I lawful king. For Richard, in the view of many lords, resigned the crown to Henry the Fourth, whose heir my father was, and I am his. York, he rose against him, being his sovereign, and made him to resign his crown perforce. Warwick, suppose, my lords, he 999 it unconstrained. Think you 'twere prejudicial to his crown? Exeter, no, for he could not so resign his crown, but that the next heir should succeed and reign. King Henry, art thou against us, Duke of Exeter? Exeter, his is the right, and therefore pardon me. York, why whisper you, my lords, and answer not? Exeter, my conscience tells me he is lawful king. King Henry, all will revolt from me and turn to him. Northumberland, Plantagenet, for all the claim thou lay'st he, think not that Henry shall be so deposed. Warwick, deposed he shall be in despite of all. Northumberland, thou art deceived, 'tis not thy southern power, of Essex, Norfolk, Suffolk, nor of Kent, which makes thee thus presumptuous and proud, can set the Duke up in despite of me. Chapter 151, F. Ford. King Henry, be thy title right or wrong, Lord Clifford vows to fight in thy defence. May that ground gape and swallow me alive, where I shall kneel to him that slew my father. King Henry, O Clifford, how thy words revive my heart. York, Henry of Lancaster, resign thy crown. What mutter you, or what conspire you, lords? Warwick, do right unto this princely Duke of York, or I will fill the house with armed men, and over the chair of state where now he sits, write up his title with usurping blood. He stamps with his foot, and the soldiers show themselves. King Henry, my Lord of Warwick, hear but one word. Let me for this my lifetime reign as king. York, confirm the crown to me, and to mine heirs, and thou shalt reign in quiet while thou 54th. King Henry, I am content, Richard Plantagenet, enjoy the kingdom after my decease. Chapter 151, F. Ford. What wrong is this unto the prince your son? Warwick, what good is this to England and himself? Wstmorland. Base, fearful and despairing Henry. Chapter 151, F. Ford. How hast thou injured both thyself and us? Wstmorland. I cannot stay to hear these articles. Northumberland. Nor I. Chapter 151, F. Ford. Come, cousin, let us tell the Queen these news. Wstmorland. Farewell, faint-hearted and degenerate king, in whose cold blood no spark of honour bides. Northumberland. Be thou a prey unto the house of York, and die in bands for this unmanly deed. Chapter 151, F. Ford. In dreadful war mayst thou be overcome, or live in peace abandoned and despised. Exeunt Westmoreland, Northumberland and Clifford. Warwick. Turn this way, Henry, and regard them not. Exeter. They seek revenge, and therefore will not yield. King Henry. Ah, Exeter. Warwick. Why should you sigh, my lord? King Henry. Not for myself, Lord Warwick, but my son, whom I unnaturally shall disinherit. But be it as it may, I here entail the crown to thee and to thine heirs for ever, conditionally that here thou take an oath to cease this 153 war, and whilst I live, to honour me as thy king and sovereign, and neither by treason nor hostility to seek to put me down and reign thyself. York. This oath I willingly take and will perform, coming from the throne. Warwick. Long live King Henry, Plantagenet embrace him. King Henry. And long live thou, and these thy forward sons. York. Now York and Lancaster are reconciled. Exeter. Accursed be he that seeks to make them foes. Senate, here they come down. York. Farewell, my gracious lord, I to my castle. Warwick. And I keep London with my soldiers. Norfolk. And I to Norfolk with my followers. Chapter 1000, Antague. And I unto the sea from whence I came. Exeunt York and his sons, Warwick, Norfolk, Montague and their soldiers. King Henry. And I with grief and sorrow to the court. Enter Queen Margaret and the Prince of Wales. Exeter. Here comes the Queen, whose looks bewray her anger. Chapter 100 Steal away. King Henry. Exeter, so will I. Queen Margaret. Nay, go not from me, I will follow thee. King Henry. Be patient, gentle Queen, and I will stay. Queen Margaret. Who can be patient in such extremes? Ah, wretched man, would I had died a maid, and never seen thee, never borne thee son, seeing thou hast proved so unnatural a father. Hath he deserved to lose his birthright thus? Hadst thou but loved him half so well as I, or felt that pain which I 999 for him once, or nourished him as I 999 with my blood, thou wouldst have left thy dearest heart blood there, rather than have made that savage duke thine heir, and disinherited thine only son, Prince Edward. Father, you cannot disinherit me. If you be king, why should not I succeed? King Henry. Pardon me, Margaret, pardon me, sweet son. The Earl of Warwick and the Duke enforced me. Queen Margaret. Enforced thee, art thou king and wilt be forced? I shame to hear thee speak, ah, timorous wretch. Thou hast undone thyself, thy son, and me, and given unto the house of York such head as thou shalt reign but by their sufferance, to entail him and his heirs unto the crown. What is it but to make thy sepulchre, and creep into it far before thy time? Warwick is Chancellor and the Lord of Calais. Stern Falconbridge commands the narrow seas. The Duke is made protector of the realm. And yet shalt thou be safe, such safety finds the trembling lamb environed with wolves. Had I been there, which am a silly woman, the soldiers should have tossed me on their pikes before I would have granted to that act. But thou prefer'st thy life before thine honour, and seeing thou dost, I here divorce myself, both from thy table, Henry, and thy bed, until that Act of Parliament be repealed, whereby my son is disinherited. The northern lords that have forsworn thy colours will follow mine if once they see them spread, and spread they shall be to thy foul disgrace, and utter ruin of the house of York. Thus do I leave thee. Come, son, let's away. Our army is ready, come we 100 after them. King Henry. Stay, gentle Margaret, and hear me speak. Queen Margaret. Thou hast spoke too much already, get thee gone. King Henry. Gentle son Edward, thou wilt stay with me. Queen Margaret. I to be murdered by his enemies. Prince Edward. When I return with victory from the field. Chapter 1, 100 See your grace, till then I 100 follow her. Queen Margaret. Come, son, away, we may not linger thus. Exeunt Queen Margaret and the Prince. King Henry. Poor Queen, how love to me and to her son hath made her break out into terms of rage. Revenged may she be on that hateful Duke, whose haughty spirit, winged with desire, will cost my crown, and like an empty eagle, tire on the flesh of me and of my son. The loss of those 3 lords torments my heart. Chapter 1, 100 Write unto them and entreat them fair. Come, cousin, you shall be the messenger. Exeter. And I hope, shall reconcile them all. Flourish. Exeunt. Scene 2, Sandal Castle. Enter Edward, Richard, and Montague. Richard. Brother, though I be youngest, give me leave. Edward. No, I can better play the orator. Chapter 1000, Antague. But I have reasons strong and forcible. Enter the Duke of York. York. Why, how now, sons and brother at a strife? What is your quarrel? How began it first? Edward. No quarrel, but a slight contention. York. About what? Richard. About that which concerned your grace and us. The crown of England, father, which is yours? York. Mine, boys, not till King Henry be dead. Richard. Your right depends not on his life or death. Edward. Now you are heir, therefore enjoy it now, by giving the house of Lancaster leave to breathe. It will outrun you, father, in the end. York. I took an oath that he should quietly reign. Edward. But for a kingdom any oath may be broken. I would break 1,000 oaths to reign 1 year. Richard. No, God forbid your grace should be forsworn. York. I shall be if I claim by open war. Richard. Chapter 1, 100 Prove the contrary if you 100 hear me speak. York. Thou canst not, son, it is impossible. Richard. An oath is of no moment, being not took before a true and lawful magistrate, that hath authority over him that swears. Henry had none, but 999 usurped the place. Then, seeing 'twas he that made you to depose, your oath, my lord, is vain and frivolous. Therefore to arms, and father, do but think how sweet a thing it is to wear a crown, within whose circuit is Elysium, and all that poets feign of bliss and joy. Why do we linger thus? I cannot rest until the white rose that I wear be dyed, even in the lukewarm blood of Henry's heart. York. Richard, enough, I will be king or die. Brother, thou shalt to London presently, and wet on Warwick to this enterprise. Thou, Richard, shalt to the Duke of Norfolk. and tell him privily of our intent. You, Edward, shall unto my lord Carbham, with whom the Kentish men will willingly rise. In them I trust, for they are soldiers, witty, courteous, liberal, full of spirit. While you are thus employed, what resteth more, but that I seek occasion how to rise? And yet the king not privy to my drift, nor any of the house of Lancaster. Enter a messenger. But stay, what news? Why calm'st thou in such post? Chapter 1000, Essenger. The Queen, with all the northern earls and lords, intend here to besiege you in your castle. She is hard by with 20,000 men, and therefore fortify your hold, my lord. York. I with my sword, what think'st thou that we fear them? Edward and Richard, you shall stay with me. My brother Montague shall post to London. Let noble Warwick, Carbham, and the rest, whom we have left protectors of the king, with powerful policy strengthen themselves, and trust not simple Henry nor his oaths. Chapter 1000, Antag. Brother, I go, I win them, fear it not. And thus most humbly I do take my leave. Enter Sir John and Sir Hugh Mortimer. York. Sir John and Sir Hugh Mortimer, mine uncles, you are come to Sandal in a happy hour. The army of the Queen mean to besiege us. Sir John. She shall not need, we 100 meet her in the field. York. What with 5,000 men? Richard. I with 500, father, for a need. A woman's general, what should we fear? A march afar off. Edward. I hear their drums, let's set our men in order, and issue forth and bid them battle straight. York. 5 men to 20, though the odds be great. I doubt not, uncle, of our victory. Many a battle have I won in France. Weenas the enemy hath been 10 to 1. Why should I not now have the like success? Scene 3, plains near Sandal Castle. Alarums, enter Rutland and his tutor. Rutland. Ah, whither shall I fly to scape their hands? Ah, Tudor, look where bloody Clifford comes. Enter Clifford and soldiers. Chapter 151, F. Ford. Chaplain away, thy priesthood saves thy life. As for the brat of this accursed duke, whose father slew my father, he shall die. Tudor. And I, my lord, will bear him company. Chapter 151, F. Ford. Soldiers, away with him. Tudor. Ah, Clifford, murder not this innocent child, lest thou be hated both of God and man. Exit, dragged off by soldiers. Chapter 151, F. Ford. How now, is he dead already, or is it fear that makes him close his eyes? I open them. Rutland. So looks the pent-up lion o'er the wretch, that trembles under his devouring paws. And so he walks, insulting o'er his prey, and so he comes to rend his limbs asunder. Ah, gentle Clifford, kill me with thy sword, and not with such a cruel threatening look. Sweet Clifford, hear me speak before I die. I am too mean a subject for thy wrath. Be thou revenged on men, and let me live. Chapter 151, F. Ford. In vain thou speak'st, poor boy, my father's blood hath stopped the passage where thy words should enter. Rutland. Then let my father's blood open it again. He is a man, and Clifford cope with him. Chapter 151, F. Ford. Had I thy brethren here, their lives and thine were not revenge sufficient for me. No, if I digged up thy forefathers' graves, and hung their rotten coffins up in chains, It could not slake mine ire nor ease my heart. The sight of any of the House of York is as a fury to torment my soul, until I root out their accursed line, and leave not one alive. I live in hell. Therefore, lifting his hand, Rutland, oh, let me pray before I take my death. To thee I pray, sweet Clifford, pity me. Chapter 151, F. Ford. Such pity as my rapier's point affords. Rutland, I never 999 thee harm, why wilt thou slay me? Chapter 151, F. Ford. Thy father hath. Rutland, but 'twas ere I was born. Thou hast one son, for his sake pity me. Lest in revenge thereof, sith God is just, he be as miserably slain as I. Ah, let me live in prison all my days, and when I give occasion of offence, then let me die, for now thou hast no cause. Chapter 151, F. Ford. No cause, thy father slew my father, therefore die. Clifford stabs him. Rutland, 501, Facient Laudis summa sit istatui. Chapter 151, F. Ford. Plantagenet, I come, Plantagenet, and this thy son's blood cleaving to my blade shall rust upon my weapon till thy blood, congealed with this, do make me wipe off both. Scene 4, the same. Alarum, enter Richard, Duke of York. York. The army of the Queen has got the field. My uncles both are slain in rescuing me, and all my followers to the eager foe turn back and fly like ships before the wind, or lambs pursued by hunger-starved wolves. My sons, God knows what hath bechanced them, but this I know, they have demeaned themselves, like men born to renown by life or death. 3 times 999 Richard make a lane to me, and thrice cried, Courage, father, fight it out. And full as oft came Edward to my side, with purple falchion painted to the hilts, in blood of those that had encountered him. And when the hardiest warriors 999 retire, Richard cried, Charge and give no foot of ground, and cried, A crown or else a glorious tomb, a sceptre or an earthly sepulchre. With this we charged again, but out, alas! We budged again, as I have seen a swan, with bootless labour swim against the tide, and spend her strength with overmatching waves. A short alarum within. Ah, hark, the fatal followers do pursue, and I am faint and cannot fly their fury. And were I strong, I would not shun their fury. The sands are numbered that makes up my life. Here must I stay, and here my life must end. Enter Queen Margaret, Clifford, Northumberland, the young Prince Edward and soldiers. Come, bloody Clifford, rough Northumberland, I dare your quenchless fury to more rage. I am your butt, and I abide your shot. Northumberland, yield to our mercy, proud Plantagenet. Chapter 151, F. Ford. I to such mercy as his ruthless arm, with downright payment showed unto my father. Now Fairthin hath tumbled from his car, and made an evening at the noontide prick. York, my ashes as the phoenix may bring forth, a bird that will revenge upon you all, and in that hope I throw mine eyes to heaven, scorning whate'er you can afflict me with. Why come you not, what multitudes in fear? Chapter 151, F. Ford. So cowards fight when they can fly no further. So doves do peck the falcon's piercing talons. So desperate thieves, all hopeless of their lives, breathe out invectives 'gainst the officers. York. O Clifford, but bethink thee once again, and in thy thought o'errun my former time, And if thou canst for blushing view this face, and bite thy tongue that slanders him with cowardice, whose frown hath made thee faint and fly ere this. Chapter 151, F. Forward. I will not bandy with thee word for word, but buckle with thee blows twice 2 for 1. Queen Margaret. Hold, valiant Clifford, for 1,000 causes. I would prolong a while the traitor's life. Wrath makes him deaf, speak thou Northumberland. Northumberland. Hold, Clifford, do not honour him so much. To prick thy finger, though to wound his heart. What valour were it when a cur doth grin, for one to thrust his hand between his teeth, when he might spurn him with his foot away. It is war's prize to take all vantages, and 10 to 1 is no impeach of valour. They lay hands on York who struggles. Chapter 151, F. Forward. Aye, so strives the woodcock with the gin. Northumberland. So doth the canaille struggle in the net. York is taken prisoner. York. So triumph thieves upon their conquered booty. So true men yield with robbers so o'ermatched. Northumberland. What would your grace have done unto him now? Queen Margaret. Brave warriors, Clifford and Northumberland. Come, make him stand upon this molehill here, that wrought at mountains with outstretched arms, yet parted but the shadow with his hand. What was it you that would be England's king? Was 't you that revelled in our parliament, and made a preachment of your high descent? Where are your mess of sons to back you now? The wanton Edward and the lusty George? And where's that valiant crookback prodigy? Dicky, your boy, that with his grumbling voice was wont to cheer his dad in mutinies? Or with the rest, where is your darling Rutland? Look, York, I stain this napkin with the blood. That valiant Clifford with his rapier's point made issue from the bosom of the boy. And if thine eyes can water for his death, I give thee this to dry thy cheeks withal. Alas, poor York, but that I hate thee deadly, I should lament thy miserable state. I prithee grieve to make me merry, York. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. What hath thy fiery heart so parched thine entrails, that not a tear can fall for Rutland's death? Why art thou patient, man? Thou shouldst be mad. And I, to make thee mad, do mock thee thus. Stamp, rave, and fret, that I may sing and dance. Thou wouldst be fee 500, I see, to make me sport. York cannot speak unless he wear a crown. A crown for York, and lords bow low to him. Hold you his hands whilst I do set it on, putting a paper crown on his head. Ay, marry, sir, now looks he like a king. Ay, this is he that took King Henry's chair, and this is he was his adopted heir. But how is it that great Plantagenet is crowned so soon and broke his solemn oath? As I bethink me, you should not be king till our King Henry had shook hands with death. And will you pale your head in Henry's glory, and rob his temples of the diadem, now in his life against your holy oath? Oh, 'tis a fault too unpardonable. Off with the crown, and with the crown his head, and whilst we breathe, take time to do him dead. Chapter 151, F. Forward. That is my office for my father's sake. Queen Margaret. Nay, stay, let's hear the orisons he makes. York. She wolf of France, but worse than wolves of France, whose tongue more poisons than the adder's tooth. How 99 beseeming is it in thy sex to triumph like an Amazonian trull upon their woes whom fortune captivates, but that thy face is vizard-like, unchanging, made impudent with use of evil deeds. I would assay, proud queen, to make thee blush, to tell thee whence thou cam'st, of whom derived. Were shame enough to shame thee, wert thou not shameless. Thy father bears the type of King of Naples, of both the Sicils and Jerusalem, yet not so wealthy as an English yeoman. Hath that poor monarch taught thee to insult? It needs not, nor it boots thee not, proud queen, unless the adage must be verified, that beggars mounted run their horse to death. 'Tis beauty that doth oft make women proud, but God he knows thy share thereof is small. 'Tis virtue that doth make them most admired, the contrary doth make thee wondered at. 'Tis government that makes them seem divine, the want thereof makes thee abominable. Thou art as opposite to every good as the Antipodes are unto us, or as the south to the septentrion. O tiger's heart wrapped in a woman's hide, how couldst thou drain the lifeblood of the child, to bid the father wipe his eyes withal, and yet be seen to bear a woman's face? Women are soft, 1449, pitiful and flexible. Thou stern, obdurate, flinty, rough, remorseless. Bidst thou me rage, why now thou hast thy wish. Wouldst have me weep, why now thou hast thy will. For raging wind blows up incessant showers, and when the rage allays, the rain begins. These tears are my sweet Rutland's obsequies, and every drop cries vengeance for his death. 'Gainst thee fell Clifford, and thee, false Frenchwoman, Northumberland. Beshrew me, but his passion moves me so, that hardly can I check my eyes from tears. York, that face of his the hungry cannibals would not have touched, would not have stained with blood. But you are more inhuman, more inexorable. Oh, 10 times more than tigers of Hyrcania. See, ruthless queen, a hapless father's tears. This cloth thou dipst in blood of my sweet boy, and I with tears do wash the blood away. Keep thou the napkin and go boast of this, and if thou tell'st the heavy story right, upon my soul the hearers will shed tears. Yea, even my foes will shed fast-falling tears, and say, alas, it was a piteous deed. There, take the crown, and with the crown my curse, and in thy need such comfort come to thee, as now I reap at thy too cruel hand. Hard-hearted Clifford, take me from the world, my soul to heaven, my blood upon your heads. Northumberland, had he been slaughterman to all my kin, I should not for my life but weep with him, to see how inly sorrow gripes his soul. Queen Margaret, what weeping ripe my lord Northumberland? Think but upon the wrong he 999 us all, and that will quickly dry thy melting tears. Chapter 151, F. Forward. Here S for my oath, here's for my father's death. Queen Margaret. And here's to right our gentle-hearted king. York, open thy gate of mercy, gracious God. My soul flies through these wounds to seek out thee. Queen Margaret. Off with his head and set it on York gates, so York may overlook the town of York. Flourish, exeunt. Act 2. Scene 1, a play near Mortimer's Cross in Herefordshire. A march, enter Edward and Richard and their power. Edward. I wonder how our princely father scaped, or whether he be scaped away or no, from Clifford's and Northumberland's pursuit. Had he been ta'en, we should have heard the news. Had he been slain, we should have heard the news. Or had he scaped, methinks we should have heard the happy tidings of his good escape. How fares my brother, why is he so sad? Richard. I cannot joy until I be resolved where our right valiant father is become. I saw him in the battle range about, and watched him how he singled Clifford forth. Methought he bore him in the thickest troop, as doth a lion in a herd of neat, or as a bear encompassed round with dogs, who having pinched a few and made them cry, the rest stand all aloof and bark at him. So fared our father with his enemies, so fled his enemies my warlike father. Methinks 'tis pride enough to be his son. See how the morning opes her golden gates, and takes her farewell of the glorious sun. How well resembles it the prime of youth, trimmed like a younker prancing to his love. Edward, dazzle mine eyes, or do I see 3 sons? Richard, 3 glorious sons, each one a perfect son, not separated with the racking clouds, but severed in a pale clear shining sky. See, they join, embrace, and seem to kiss, as if they vowed some league inviolable. Now are they but one lamp, one light, one sun. In this the heaven figures some event. Edward, 'tis wondrous strange, the like yet never heard of. I think it cites us, brother, to the field, that we, the sons of brave Plantagenet, each one already blazing by our meads, should notwithstanding join our lights together, and overshine the earth as this the world. Whate'er it bodes, henceforward will I bear upon my target 3 fair shining sons. Richard, nay, bear 3 daughters, by your leave I speak it. You love the breeder better than the male. Enter a messenger blowing. But what art thou, whose heavy looks foretell some dreadful story hanging on thy tongue? Chapter 1000, Essenger. Ah, one that was a woeful looker on, when as the noble Duke of York was slain, your princely father and my loving lord. Edward. Oh, speak no more, for I have heard too much. Richard. Say how he died, for I will hear it all. Chapter 1000, Essenger. Environed he was with many foes, and stood against them as the hope of Troy, against the Greeks that would have entered Troy. But Hercules himself must yield to odds, and many strokes, though with a little axe, hews down and fell the hardest timbered oak. By many hands your father was subdued, but only slaughtered by the ireful of unrelenting Clifford and the Queen, who crowned the gracious Duke in high despite, laughed in his face, and when with grief he wept, the ruthless Queen gave him to dry his cheeks a napkin steeped in the harmless blood of sweet young Rutland, by rough Clifford slain. And after many scorns, many foul taunts, they took his head, and on the gates of York they set the same, and there it doth remain, the saddest spectacle that e'er I viewed. Edward, sweet Duke of York, our prop to lean upon, now thou art gone, we have no staff, no stay. O Clifford, boisterous Clifford, thou hast slain the flower of Europe for his chivalry, and treacherously hast thou vanquished him, for hand to hand he would have vanquished thee. Now my soul's palace is become a prison. Ah, would she break from hence, that this my body might in the ground be closed up in rest, for never henceforth shall I joy again. Never, oh never shall I see more joy. Richard, I cannot weep, for all my body's moisture scarce serves to quench my furnace-burning heart, nor can my tongue unload my heart's great burthen, for self-same wind that I should speak withal is kindling coals that fires all my breast, and burns me up with flames that tears would quench. To weep is to make less the depth of grief. Tears then for babes, blows and revenge for me. Richard, I bear thy name, I 100 venge thy death, or die renowned by attempting it. Edward, his name that valiant duke hath left with thee. His dukedom and his chair with me is left. Richard, nay, if thou be that princely eagle's bird, show thy descent by gazing 'gainst the sun. For chair and dukedom, throne and kingdom say, either that is thine, or else thou wert not his. March, enter Warwick, Marquis Montague and their army. Warwick. How now, fair lords, what fare, what news abroad? Richard. Great Lord of Warwick, if we should recount our baleful news and at each word's deliverance, stab poniards in our flesh till all were told, the words would add more anguish than the wounds. O valiant lord, the Duke of York is slain. Edward. O Warwick, Warwick, that Plantagenet, which held thee dearly as his soul's redemption, is by the stern Lord Clifford done to death. Warwick. 10 days ago I drowned these news in tears, and now, to add more measure to your woes, I come to tell you things sith then befallen, after the bloody fray at Wakefield fought, where your brave father breathed his latest gasp. Tidings, as swiftly as the posts could run, were brought me of your loss and his depart. Chapter 1. Then in London, keeper of the king, mustered my soldiers, gathered flocks of friends, and very well appointed as I thought, marched toward St. Albans to intercept the Queen, bearing the king in my behalf along, for by my scouts I was advertised that she was coming with a full intent to dash our late decree in Parliament, touching King Henry's oath and your succession. Short tale to make, we at St. Albans met, our battles joined, and both sides fiercely fought. But whether 'twas the coldness of the king, who looked full gently on his warlike queen, that robbed my soldiers of their heated spleen, or whether 'twas report of her success, or more than common fear of Clifford's rigour, who thunders to his captives blood and death, I cannot judge, but to conclude with truth, their weapons like to lightning came and went, our soldiers like the night owl's lazy flight, or like an idle thresher with a flail, fell gently down as if they struck their friends. I cheered them up with justice of our cause, with promise of high pay and great rewards. But all in vain, they had no heart to fight,